the second question was, how do we inspire people to farm on the Sunshine Coast? And it was my group, John and Dave, that all had the potato group. And from Dave's tables, they identified three main areas. It was policy incentives, outreach, and community values. So both John and I kind of framed our solutions and answers under those categories in general. So for policy incentives, the first one was incentives for local farmers, incentives which will help people see the benefits of local farming or getting involved in growing food. Education incentives, awareness raising incentives, removing the barriers, all the challenges. So these are really basic categories. There's so much in all of that, but we were just actually having a struggle trying to get all of our information up here, so we really summarized. And then land use policy, so increasing availability and making it affordable. And a big emphasis was on local government cooperation and seeing real leadership from our local government in policies. So that's for policies. And next, we actually didn't get to all three categories. The next one's community values. So John talked a lot about, and we had a little bit of discussion in my groups as well, about redefining the farm and beyond just economic values. So seeing the social, community, and aesthetic values of local farming, and I would extend that to all the different other forms of food producing. And in one of my groups, I actually brought up the idea that, farmers are kind of not really respected as much in the community, and that's changing right now, so we need to support that change and really honor our local farmers and food producers. We talked about the value of healthy citizens, and it was stated in a group too that people come to the Sunshine Coast because they're wanting to pursue a healthy lifestyle. So making that link between healthy lifestyle, beautiful local ecosystem, and local farming and food systems. And we actually touched in one of my groups on the idea of we have to kind of retrain ourselves as human beings because we've grown up to not necessarily see the benefits and aesthetics in a vibrant local farming landscape or edible landscape or even just more natural as opposed to more kind of confined and industrial. The increasing the legitimacy and respect for farmers, and even though we all here know that farming essentially is a lifestyle choice, and that in a way that's kind of one of the drawbacks, but also kind of promoting that farming is a lifestyle choice, and that's a valid choice to make. It's a healthy lifestyle to choose. And there was a big emphasis in Dave's group on children and really focusing on the youngest generation and helping them transform their community values. And in my groups, a little bit of emphasis on the intergenerational component of that and passing the knowledge down and decreasing that gap. There was a big emphasis in my group in particular on really honing down to practical education solutions. And I think I heard that many different groups kind of talked about this, and I think it's a brilliant idea of creating a local apprenticeship and training program for prospective farmers and wildcrafters, maybe fishers and hunters as well, that's multi-sectored, that's financially supported, and that's also good for our food producers by providing reasonable labor, low-cost labor for them while training up our next generation of food producers. So the last one was outreach, but that's kind of covered in the stuff we're talking about with education. And Dave?
Amber came up with it, and it was action, like what kind of action in inspiring. And Amber came up with, let's have a mock food shortage. Right? So